Okay, so what's up, guys? Welcome to my channel, and I'm going to do a review of Dragon Ball Super Episode 104, the high-speed battle between Hit, SSG Goku, and Universe 11's Dispo. But first off, I'll start off with a short summary of the episode. So, Dispo and Hit face off. Dispo was dominating Hit for the first half. Hit was basically just feeling and figuring out how Dispo does what he does, how Dispo is overpowering him. And for the second half, Son Goku in Super Saiyan God enters in this amazing way. The way he entered was fantastic. And from there on, he basically took Hit's target, like without permission. And so Goku fights Dispo while switching between Super Saiyan God and Super Saiyan Blue. And and Hit goes off to fight Kushin or Kush, whatever his name is. He wasn't really important, but yeah, Hit fought him for like a while. They then swapped targets again. Basically, Hit basically just took Disco without Goku's permission. It. Those are really great scenes. Honestly, you could see that those two, Goku and Hit, really connects with each other in that regard. And Hit basically overpowers Dispo because he has figured out how to get past Dispo's speed. He confuses him into believing that he'd use his time skip at times, when at times he actually didn't, and at times he actually did. Dispo's hesitation really led to his downfall. Kunchi actually sacrifices himself to keep in Dispo in the tournament, and it ended with Topo proclaiming that it was enough of them playing the hero. There's no justice or evil. There's only either survival or erasure. What Topo said in that last scene of this episode actually resounded with me, because Universe 11 had been playing this hero dynamic for this whole tournament, but at this point they're done with it. Topo is done with it. He's serious. Okay, so time to get into the next part of my review. I will be talking about the pros and cons of these episodes. Basically, what I liked and what I really didn't like. Like, what was really good about this episode and what was bad about this episode. There aren't really many bads as there are goods. Because this episode was really good. So, first of all, Dispo's ability to increase his speed thousands of times before he strikes in an instant, that's a pretty neat ability, because all the fighters, you could say that they're pretty fast, but they have always only increased this speed after powering up somewhat or powering up in some way. But this will can actually increase his speed instantaneously, and this makes him different from the other speed feats that we've witnessed throughout Dragon Ball so far as the series. The only thing I didn't like about this part though is how Topu said that he surpassed the speed of light and sound. When he said that, but other warriors like Goku and technically everyone who's like even Piccolo, etc., they've probably already surpassed the speed of light already. In the Frieza saga, we've witnessed that feat, that Goku basically traveled halfway across Namek in an instant. If that wasn't technically breaking the sound barrier or light speed, I don't know what that was, honestly. Point two, Champa actually pointed out that Disco looked a lot like Beerus. Uh, I know the fans were really thinking about that when Dispo was first revealed. Everyone was thinking about it. I guess Toei actually just took Beerus as a reference for Dispo's design, so they actually made Champa mention it, and that was pretty cool to say the least. I like how Zeno complains that he couldn't see the Hit versus Dispo fight. This this actually proves that Zeno isn't actually strong. He just actually erases shit. That's all he does. 'Cause I know there's some people who think Zeno is the strongest guy ever, but he's not actually strong. He's the king of everything. He just has the power to erase. I guess you could say he has the power to Hakai, but his Hakai is more like a super Hakai that can erase a universe in an instant. In the face of true martial arts, I think that would actually be his downfall in some way, one way or another. Back to another pro of this episode: Hit versus Dispo fight. I personally found that this was one of the most technical fights in the series. They were both Hit and Dispo. Well, really Hit. Hit had been analyzing Dispo's attacks from the get-go, from the moment he got hit with the first punch. He had been taking hits on purpose, trying to overcome Dispo's speed and find a way around his speed. And at one point, Hit actually noticed that Dispo listened to his muscle movements just at the point when he uses his time skip, because their specific muscle movements, and that's what Dispo uses as his timing for attack. Hit fainted his way through this fight. He just straight up confused Dispo whether he was going to use time skip or not. Dispo just doesn't know. He just didn't see it coming. I also liked while he was fighting Dispo, and when he couldn't defend himself well, how he was just actually leading Dispo towards the edge to basically fall off. But then Kunchi, I keep getting his name wrong. Kunchi comes in to save Dispo, of course. Just like how he also saves him at the end. Okay, so another pro or reason why I like this episode so much: the existence of Super Saiyan God Goku confirms that Super Saiyan Blue does in fact drain stamina. It does in fact drain stamina. I'm sure most of us knew this already, but there are people who believe that Super Saiyan Blue is just the perfect transformation. This perfect key control thing. I'll admit that Super Saiyan Blue actually has this perfect key control aspect of it going on, but that was only that perfect key control aspect. It was only mentioned, or it was only brought up for the sake of Kaioken. That's how I viewed it. It was for the sake of reintroducing the Kaioken in the series and giving a reason as to why it wasn't used in the other Super Saiyan forms. It's not that Super Saiyan Blue doesn't drain stamina, because it does. It drains a shitload of stamina. And that was proven with the use of Super Saiyan God in the anime, just like in the manga. So we can sort of safely say that the anime and the manga, they are following the same outline, and that Goku and Vegeta going Super Saiyan God. I don't know about Vegeta yet. Let's hold our breath for Vegeta. Well, Goku going Super Saiyan God was probably a part of Toriyama's outlines that he's been giving them to go off of. So, another thing from all that, we know for sure that Goku spamming Super Saiyan Blue before this was just complete bullshit. He didn't actually need to spam Blue. He was just spamming it for the sake of cool effect. That's what Toei does to sell this. So that's why I really like this episode. Really, it just proves that what Toei was doing before was just mess, and it was just a mess. And maybe they realized what they were doing was a mess. The last thing I liked about this episode really was Hit's and Goku's rivalry. That at the ending of the fight, you see Goku and Hit basically square off. They go their separate ways, and the narrator foreshadows their epic fight. I like this, but honestly, at the same time, I don't like this, because one thing I one thing I foresee in the future is a Hit versus Vegeta rematch, and I foresee him winning. This would show Vegeta's improvement since the time he lost against Hit, and it would bring him back on the radar because it seems like they're pushing Vegeta out of the way in these recent episodes. And if Kaba is Vegeta's only good matchup, it just wouldn't do him justice. Kaba is no way on Vegeta's level. Nowhere on Vegeta's level. That shouldn't be his matchup. It just can't. Another thing I didn't like was Champa's naivety throughout this whole episode. At first it was funny, like at first it was funny, but after a while it just got really lame. Like, Champa, aren't you supposed to be like a god of destruction? Why are you looking for answers everywhere else? Why are you acting like a dumbass? Ah, but I did like some of his jokes though. Hit took 2 hits. It took 2 hits, people. Giggles. Next thing I didn't like about this episode was Kunshi's minefield thing that he did. Like, did he really expect Hit not to be able to get through that? I mean, what was that supposed to do? Honestly, everybody's throwing Key Blaster on the place, and you just expected Hit not to be able to get through that in any way? What was he thinking? I liked how Goku just charged through it. He was like, doesn't matter at all. Let me just punch through these minefield things. Okay, another thing I didn't like about this episode, really, well, this is not really something I didn't like. It was just something I saw. I just saw somebody complaining about the reused animation because there was some pretty badass looking animation of Hit actually boxing in a way, this boxing dispo to no ends, and they pointed out that it was reused animation from the Hit versus Vegeta fight. Personally, I have no problem with that because it's a weekly series and they have to find some way to get really good quality animation within the show, and they can't do that with just a week of animating. The animation industry is hard enough, so yeah, I don't really see that as a con. And that's it for my review of Dragon Ball Super episode 104. I'm not so excited for the next one. Next one is a Roshi episode. He claimed that he conquered his weakness against women. The time until the tournament that decides their fate ends in 35 minutes. Stay tuned.